Hello, dear friends. We will sleep with Medieval Village Sleep Story. Drift off to another time. In about 10 minutes, you're going to feel like you've traveled back 600 years to the quietest, most peaceful village that ever existed. Your mind is going to slow down to medieval pace, body will relax completely, and sleep will come as naturally as it did before electricity, before clocks, before anything existed to keep you awake. Tonight, I'm taking you somewhere different, not just a different place, but a different time. Back to a small medieval village where life moved at the speed of seasons instead of seconds, where darkness meant rest and where sleep came easily because there was nothing to keep your mind buzzing. You're going to experience what it felt like to live in a time when sleep was natural and effortless. As I describe this peaceful medieval evening, your body will remember what rest is supposed to feel like, and sleep will come the way it's been coming to humans. Challenge. Introduction. Your brain is running on modern time right now. It's used to screens and notifications and constant stimulation. It's adapted to artificial light that tricks it into thinking it's always daytime. It's been trained to process huge amounts of information every single hour of every single day. And then you expect it to just shut off instantly when you lie down in bed. Medieval people didn't have this problem. When the sun went down, darkness came. Real darkness, not the kind you get in modern cities with streetlights and glowing devices. When darkness came, the body naturally started producing sleep hormones. The mind naturally started slowing down. There was nothing to do in the dark except rest, so that's what people did. Their nervous systems weren't constantly activated by stress and stimulation. They didn't have the mental clutter that comes from consuming endless information. They had worries, sure, but those worries were simple and concrete, whether the crops would grow, whether the weather would hold, basic survival concerns that the mind could actually process and set aside. What you need right now is to let your mind experience that simpler rhythm, even if just for the next 15 minutes. You need to feel what it's like when time slows down, when the world gets quiet, when sleep is just the natural thing that happens when darkness comes. So tonight, you're not in your modern bedroom with all its associations with sleeplessness and frustration. Tonight, you're in a small cottage in a medieval village, and it's evening time, and sleep is coming as naturally and inevitably as the sunset itself. But before we go to that cottage, we need to let your body remember how to be still and heavy and completely relaxed the way bodies were before we taught them to be tense all the time. Moving on, the sleepy body settling. Close your eyes if they're not closed already. You're lying down somewhere comfortable, and you're going to stay in this position for a while, so make any small adjustments you need to make right now. Get comfortable. Find that position where your body can just rest without needing to shift or move. Take a slow breath in through your nose, nothing forced or dramatic, just a comfortable breath in, and let it out through your mouth with a soft sigh. Do that again. In through your nose, filling your lungs comfortably. Out through your mouth, releasing everything. One more time. In through your nose, out through your mouth, and as you breathe out this time, let your whole body sink down heavily into whatever's supporting it. Now just breathe naturally. You don't need to control it anymore. Your body has been breathing automatically since the moment you were born. It knows what to do. Notice your feet and your legs. They don't need to do anything right now. They're not walking or standing or moving. They can just be heavy and still. Imagine that your legs are made of stone, like the stone walls of a medieval cottage. Solid, heavy, completely immovable. That heavy feeling spreads up through your calves, your knees, your thighs, all the way up to your hips. Your lower back and your belly can relax now. Let them go soft. Medieval people didn't hold tension in their bodies the way we do. They worked hard during the day, but when rest time came, they knew how to completely let go. That's what you're doing now, letting go the way humans used to know how to do naturally. Your chest and your shoulders, let them drop and soften. Your upper back can spread wide against whatever surface is supporting you. All that tension you carry in your shoulders, that modern tension from hunching over screens and holding stress, you can let it all drain away now. You're going back to a time before that kind of tension existed. Your arms are heavy and relaxed, lying wherever they naturally fell. Your hands are loose and open. Your fingers are slightly curled and completely soft. There's no energy running through your arms at all. They're just resting, heavy, like two logs lying on the ground. Your neck is soft and loose. Your jaw is relaxed. Maybe even let your mouth fall open slightly if that's comfortable. All those little muscles in your face, especially around your eyes and across your forehead, let them all go smooth and soft. Medieval people had faces that were peaceful and unworried in sleep. That's what your face looks like now. One more deep breath. In through your nose and out through your mouth, letting yourself sink even deeper into heaviness and relaxation. Your body is ready now. Your mind is ready to slow down to medieval pace. Let me take you there. We are coming to the medieval cottage evening. You're in a small stone cottage in a village that has no name anyone remembers. The year doesn't matter. Somewhere in the 1300s or 1400s, back when time moved differently. This cottage is your home, and you've lived here your entire life. Every stone in these walls is familiar to you. Every crack in the timber ceiling beams. Every sound this small building makes. It's evening now. The sun has just gone down, and the last light is fading from the sky outside your small window. This window is just an opening in the stone wall, no glass, with wooden shutters that you'll close in a moment. But right now they're still open, letting in the cool evening air and the last traces of twilight. The cottage is a single room, maybe 12 feet by 15 feet. The walls are thick stone, plastered over with a mixture of clay and straw that's been painted white many years ago, now aged to a soft cream color. The floor is packed earth, covered in places with woven rush mats that smell faintly of dried grass and herbs. In the center of the room is a small hearth, not a fireplace with a chimney, but just a raised area of stones where a fire burns. The fire is burning low now, just glowing embers mostly, with an occasional small flame flickering up when it catches a piece of wood that still has some life in it. The fire gives off a gentle warmth and a soft orange glow that's the only light in the cottage now that the sun has gone down. The smoke from the fire rises up and filters out through a hole in the thatched roof above. You can see the smoke drifting upward in lazy spirals, lit from below by the orange glow of the embers. Some smoke stays low in the room, giving the air a slightly hazy quality that is not unpleasant. It's just the way cottages smell and look in the evening. The smoke carries the scent of burning oak wood, a clean and ancient smell that humans have been falling asleep to for thousands of years. Your bed is in the corner of the room, furthest from the door. It's not much of a bed by modern standards, a wooden frame filled with a mattress made of straw and wool, covered with rough linen sheets and several woolen blankets. But it's comfortable in its own way, and more importantly, it's yours. You've slept in this bed for years, and your body knows this is where rest happens.
The cottage is quiet in a way that modern places never are. There's no hum of electricity, no distant traffic sounds, no refrigerator or heating system making background noise. Just the small sounds of the evening. The fire crackling very softly, a slight breeze moving through the thatched roof, the settling sounds of the cottage itself as the stone walls release the warmth of the day. You're wearing a simple long wool nightshirt, undyed, rough but soft from years of washing and wear. Your feet are bare. You've already banked the fire for the night, making sure the embers are safe and will slowly burn themselves out while you sleep. You've closed and latched the wooden door. Now you move slowly across the cottage to close the window shutters. The shutters are simple, rough wood, hung on leather hinges. You pull them closed and secure them with a wooden peg, And now the only light in the cottage is the orange glow from the fire. The shutters block out the last of the evening light and any breeze, making the cottage feel even more protected and safe. Outside, you can hear the village settling in for the night. These sounds are distant and peaceful. Someone's dog barks once, then goes quiet. You hear the faint sound of a mother's voice calling her children inside, the creak of a door closing somewhere nearby, the distant lowing of a cow from the village common where the animals are kept at night. But these sounds are fading now as the village goes quiet. Everyone is going to bed because that's what you do when darkness comes. There's no reason to stay awake, no candles to waste on unnecessary activity, no artificial light to trick your brain into thinking it's still day. When darkness comes, you sleep. It's simple and natural, and the way humans have always done it. You walk slowly to your bed in the corner. The floor is cool and smooth under your bare feet. The cottage is dark now, except for that gentle orange glow from the fire, and your eyes have adjusted so you can see well enough to move around. You pull back the woolen blankets and slide into bed, lying down on your side in the way that feels most natural and comfortable. The mattress beneath you is firm, but not hard. It conforms slightly to your body shape. The straw inside makes very small rustling sounds as you settle into position, then goes quiet. The linen sheet against your skin is cool and smooth. The wool blankets are heavy and warm, not scratchy like you might expect. They've been washed and used so many times that they're soft and comforting. You pull the blankets up to your shoulder and let your head rest on your pillow. A simple cloth bag filled with wool and dried lavender. The lavender scent is faint but present, mixing with the smoke smell and the general scent of the cottage, creating a combination that means safety and home and rest. Lying here in your medieval bed, in your small, safe cottage, with the fire glowing gently across the room, you feel your body beginning to relax in a deep way. This is how humans are supposed to feel at the end of the day. Naturally tired, naturally ready for sleep, with no stimulation or stress or reasons to stay awake. The cottage is getting darker as the fire burns lower. The orange glow is fading to deep red. Soon it will just be warm embers giving off almost no light at all. But that's fine. You don't need light. Your eyes are closed now anyway, and darkness is for sleeping. You can hear your own breathing in the quiet cottage. Slow breaths in and out. Each breath is relaxed and easy. There's no tension in your chest or your throat. You're breathing the way people breathed before anxiety and stress became normal parts of life. Just simple, natural breaths that keep you alive without any effort or thought.
The wool blankets are warming up from your body heat, creating a comfortable cocoon of warmth while the air in the cottage is cool on your face. This temperature difference is perfect for sleep. Your body warm under the blankets, your face cool and comfortable, just the way human bodies prefer to sleep. Outside the cottage, the village is completely quiet now. Everyone is asleep or nearly asleep. There are no lights anywhere. The whole village is dark. The whole world is dark, the way it's supposed to be at night. Above the village, the stars are incredibly bright, more stars than you ever see in modern times because there's no light pollution, nothing to dim their ancient glow. But you can't see them from inside your cottage, and you don't need to. You're safe inside, warm and comfortable, ready for sleep. We are now deepening into medieval rest. Your breathing has slowed down even more now. Each breath takes longer, requires less effort, happens more automatically. Your body knows this is sleep time.
The darkness knows. The cottage knows. Everything is aligned for rest, the way it used to be before humans complicated things with artificial light and constant activity. The fire across the room is just embers now, barely glowing. Sometimes a tiny flame flickers up for a moment, then dies back down. These small movements of light and shadow in the darkness are hypnotic, peaceful, like watching something ancient and timeless. The fire will burn itself out completely in an hour or two, and the cottage will be fully dark and cool by morning. But you'll be deeply asleep by then, unaware of the changing conditions, lost in the dreamless rest of someone who worked hard all day and whose body is ready for restoration. Your mattress has warmed up beneath you now. The straw has compressed in all the right places to support your body. You've shifted slightly once or twice to find the most comfortable position, and now you're completely still. Medieval people didn't toss and turn the way modern people do. They went to bed tired from physical work, their bodies naturally heavy and ready for rest, and they slept deeply and peacefully through the night. That's what's happening to you now. Your body is remembering this old way of sleeping. Your muscles are completely relaxed, so heavy and loose that you feel like you're sinking through the mattress into the earth itself. Your breathing is so slow and deep that it's almost like you're barely breathing at all. Your mind is quiet, not racing with thoughts and worries, just resting peacefully like a village pond at night. Still, dark, undisturbed. The sounds of the cottage have faded into a peaceful silence. You can barely hear anything now. Maybe the tiniest whisper of wind moving through the thatch, maybe the smallest settling sound as the stones adjust to the cooler night air. But these sounds are so soft, they're almost imaginary, and they don't disturb your rest at all. They're part of the peaceful rhythm of the cottage at night. Time has stopped meaning anything. Medieval people didn't have clocks in their homes. They didn't count hours or minutes. Time was measured by the sun and the seasons, and at night, time simply didn't exist. You've been lying here for a while now, maybe 10 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe just moments. It doesn't matter. There's no alarm to wake up to, no schedule to keep. You'll sleep until your body is naturally ready to wake, and that might be 8 hours or 10 hours, whenever it happens. Your body is so deeply relaxed now that you can barely feel it anymore. It's just a warm, heavy presence beneath your awareness. Your legs have disappeared into stillness. Your arms are somewhere, but you're not quite sure where. Your face is smooth and peaceful. Your breathing is happening all by itself, deep in your body, without any conscious attention needed.
The boundaries between you and the cottage are starting to blur. You are the warm bed. You are the peaceful darkness. You are the quiet village sleeping under the stars. You are the cool night air and the dying fire and the thick stone walls that have been standing here for 100 years and will stand for 100 more. Everything is blending together into one peaceful experience of rest. Let's together watch the village dreams. As you drift deeper towards sleep, you become aware of the whole village around you, all sleeping peacefully in their small cottages just like yours. The blacksmith in his cottage near the forge, sleeping heavily after a day of hard work. The miller and his family in their cottage by the stream, dreaming of wheat and flour and the turning of the great stone wheel. The village children, already deep in sleep hours ago, dreaming whatever simple dreams children dream. Everyone is sleeping because there's nothing else to do in the darkness. No one is lying awake worrying about things they can't control. No one is staring at screens or thinking about tomorrow's tasks. They worked hard today, they ate their simple evening meal, they said their evening prayers if they were religious, and then they went to bed. because that's what you do when darkness comes. And you are one of them now. You are part of this sleeping village, part of this simple and ancient pattern of day and night, work and rest, wakefulness and sleep. Your mind has slowed down to match their pace. Your body has remembered how to rest the way bodies used to rest. You are sleeping the way humans slept for thousands of years before the modern world made everything complicated. The cottage around you is holding you safely like a mother holds a child. The thick stone walls are protection, the thatched roof is shelter, the wool blankets are warmth, the darkness is permission to rest. Everything about this moment is designed for sleep, and your body and mind are responding exactly as they should. You might notice that you're losing track of my voice now. The words are becoming distant, less distinct, blending with the peaceful silence of the sleeping village. This is exactly what should happen. You don't need to follow the story anymore. You don't need to pay attention. You can just let go completely and drift away into your own sleep, your own dreams, your own deep rest. And for you here, our climax or key moment. And right now, you're at that perfect moment between the medieval cottage and your own deep sleep. The cottage is fading into memory and dream. The village around you is fading too. Even my voice is fading, becoming just a soft background sound like distant wind or a faraway stream. Your breathing is so slow now, so deep, so automatic. Your body has completely let go. Your mind is dark and quiet like the village night. You're not holding on to anything anymore. Not the story, not the cottage, not even the intention to fall asleep. You're just resting naturally and easily, the way humans have been resting since the beginning of time. The medieval village is still there somewhere in the background of your awareness. All those sleeping people in their simple cottages, but you're drifting away from it now into your own private darkness, your own peaceful rest. Let it go. Let everything go. Just drift and float and sink into the deep, restorative sleep that your body has been needing. There's nothing to do now except sleep, nothing to think about, nothing to figure out or solve or plan, just darkness and warmth and deep, peaceful rest. Medieval rest, ancient rest, the kind of sleep humans are supposed to have, natural and easy and complete. Your body is heavy and still. Your breathing is deep and slow. Your mind is quiet and dark. The medieval cottage has served its purpose. It's shown you what rest used to feel like, what sleep can be like when you let go of modern tension and stress. You don't need the cottage anymore. You don't need the village or the story or even my voice. You have everything you need right now in this moment, a comfortable place to rest, a body that knows how to sleep, and the darkness that allows deep rest to happen. Sleep now. Let yourself drift completely away. Good night. Subscribe for more peaceful journeys into sleep whenever you need them.
Now we are moving on. So hi. And let's continue. You're about to drift off in a quiet railway station on a slow evening in 1887, surrounded by the gentle rhythm of trains and the hum of old gas lamps. Within minutes, you'll feel so relaxed that your eyelids will be impossible to keep open, and sleep will come as evening shadows settling over the empty platform. Tonight, I'm taking you to a place that exists somewhere between waking and dreaming. A peaceful railway station in the 1800s where time moves at the pace of steam and patience. This isn't a busy, chaotic station with rushing crowds.
This is a quiet junction where trains come and go slowly, where travelers rest between journeys, and where the gentle sounds of the 19th century lull everyone into deep sleep. As I describe this peaceful scene, your body will start to match the slow rhythm of trains and the quiet pace of the 1800s, and sleep will come exactly when your mind and body are ready. But first, let me explain why this particular setting is so perfect for helping your restless mind finally settle down. The problem with modern sleep is that your nervous system never fully believes it's safe to rest. Your brain is trained to be alert, to check for notifications, to stay ready for the next thing that needs your attention. Even lying in bed, part of your mind is still on alert, still waiting, still prepared to spring into action. In the 1800s, people understood something we've forgotten. There's power in patience and slowness. A train journey took hours, sometimes days. You couldn't rush it. You couldn't check your arrival time every 5 minutes. You simply had to settle in, accept the pace, and let the rhythm of travel carry you where you needed to go. This surrender to slowness is exactly what your nervous system needs right now. When you stop fighting against the pace of falling asleep, and instead match it to something as inevitable and patient as a slow train, something shifts inside you. The resistance dissolves. The anxiety about whether you'll fall asleep goes away, because you're no longer actively trying. You're simply watching the landscape drift past, listening to the gentle sounds, letting time move at its own speed. The railway station of the 1880s was a place where this kind of surrender made sense. People came there with time to kill between trains. They weren't in a rush. They sat on wooden benches, watched the platforms, listened to the announcements, and their nervous systems naturally relaxed because there was literally nothing to do but wait and observe. That's the state you're going to enter now. Not a state of doing or trying or controlling, but a state of patient waiting and gentle observation, where sleep will simply arrive like a train pulling into a station, inevitable and perfectly timed. Before we go to the station, let's prepare your body for this journey into rest. You're lying down comfortably, and I want you to really notice your weight against the surface beneath you. Feel how gravity is pulling you down, supporting you completely. You don't need to hold yourself up anymore. You can just sink into that support. Breathe in slowly through your nose, and as you do, notice your shoulders rising slightly with that breath. Now exhale through your mouth and feel your shoulders drop down, heavier, more relaxed. Do that one more time. In through your nose, shoulders rising. Out through your mouth, shoulders dropping, releasing, settling deeper. Your feet are the starting point for this journey into rest. Imagine them getting heavier and heavier, like they're made of the iron that was used to build railroad tracks. Heavy, solid, immovable. That heaviness spreads up through your ankles and into your calves. Your lower legs are getting so heavy that moving them would feel like tremendous effort. That's fine. You're not going anywhere. You're just resting, getting heavier, sinking deeper. Your thighs and hips carry that same heavy sensation now. Your entire lower body is like a bundle of iron rails, heavy and anchored to the earth. This heaviness is comforting, not constraining. It's like a weighted blanket made of gravity itself, holding you safely in place. Your belly and lower back are soft and relaxed now. All the tension you normally carry there can drain away. Your chest is open and relaxed. Your breathing is easy and automatic. Your upper back spreads wide, every muscle completely loose and at ease. Your arms are heavy and relaxed, lying wherever they naturally fell. Your hands are open and soft. Your fingers are barely curled, completely at rest. There's no energy running through your arms at all. They're just hanging there like rope, heavy and comfortable. Your shoulders have dropped down away from your ears. Your neck is soft and loose. Your jaw is relaxed. You can let your mouth fall open slightly if you want. All the small muscles in your face, around your eyes and across your forehead are smooth and peaceful. Perfect. Your entire body is ready now, heavy, relaxed, and completely still. Let me take you to the train station. You're standing on a platform at a small railway station, and it's late in the evening around 1887. The sun is setting somewhere behind the station building, casting long shadows across the empty platform. The air has that particular quality of late afternoon, cool, clear, and peaceful, with the scent of coal smoke from a distant locomotive and the smell of old wood from the station building. The platform is made of wooden planks worn smooth by thousands of footsteps over many years. The wood is warm to the touch, still holding some of the day's heat. The station building behind you is a simple Victorian structure, red brick with white trim, a peaked roof, and long windows that reflect the golden evening light. A few gas lamps are beginning to flicker on along the platform, casting a soft golden glow that will grow stronger as the sun continues to set. There are very few people here right now. A station master in his dark uniform is sorting through some papers in the ticket office. An elderly woman sits on one of the wooden benches, waiting patiently for a train that won't arrive for another hour. A porter is slowly sweeping the platform with a long-handled broom, moving deliberately and calmly, not rushing because there's nowhere to rush to. You find a bench and sit down on it. The wood is solid and comfortable, worn smooth and shaped by years of use into a form that fits the human body perfectly. You settle back against the bench and just sit there, watching the platform, listening to the gentle sounds of the station evening. The main sound is the distant sound of trains somewhere on the tracks beyond the station. You can hear the rhythmic clacking of wheels on rails, a sound that's hypnotic and peaceful when you're not in a hurry to be anywhere. That steady, regular rhythm is like a distant heartbeat, a reminder that the world is still moving at its own pace, regardless of any individual urgency or worry. Closer by, you can hear the soft, sweeping sound of the porter's broom moving across the wooden platform. Swish, swish, swish. A gentle, rhythmic sound that happens slowly and without any force or aggression. The porter is simply maintaining the space, keeping it clean and orderly, in no particular hurry. Sometimes his footsteps make small sounds on the wooden platform. Sometimes he pauses to gather what he swept up, but mostly it's just that gentle, peaceful sound of sweeping. The gas lamps along the platform are making very soft sounds. You can barely hear them, but there's a tiny hissing sound from the gas flowing through the jets, and an almost imperceptible crackling from the flames. These sounds are so quiet they're almost imaginary, but they're there, part of the soundscape of this peaceful evening.
From somewhere inside the station building, you can hear a clock ticking. It's a slow, steady tick-tock, tick-tock, reminding you that time is passing, but in no particular hurry. There's no sense of urgency about the clock. It's just marking the moments as they drift past, one after another, each moment identical to the last. The elderly woman on the other bench occasionally shifts her position slightly, or folds and unfolds her hands in her lap. These small movements are the only sign of any human energy. She's perfectly at peace, perfectly content to simply sit and wait for whatever is coming next. You notice that your breathing has naturally synchronized with the rhythm of the distant trains, the steady clacking that rises and falls as trains move along the tracks beyond the station. In with the rhythm, out with the rhythm. Your breathing has become automatic and effortless, matching the pace of the 19th century world around you. The light is changing now as the sun gets lower on the horizon. The platform that was bright and golden is becoming more amber, more orange. The shadows are getting longer and deeper. The gas lamps are glowing brighter as the natural light fades. Soon it will be completely dark, and the platform will be lit only by the gas lamps and whatever moonlight might appear. As the evening deepens, you decide to move into the waiting room of the station. The waiting room is a simple, warm space with wooden walls painted a soft cream color. There are several wooden benches arranged along the walls, all worn smooth by years of use. A few oil lamps are lit inside, creating a warm amber glow that's softer and more intimate than the gas lamps outside. A small pot-bellied stove sits in one corner of the waiting room, radiating gentle warmth, but not too much, just enough to make the space feel comfortably warm without being hot. There's a subtle smell of wood smoke and old wood, mixing with the faint scent of leather from the benches and something indefinably nostalgic that smells like history. You sink into one of the benches, and it fits your body perfectly. The wood has been polished smooth over decades, and it holds the warmth of the day. You lean back and close your eyes, just listening to the sounds of the waiting room. There's the soft ticking of a clock on the wall. There's the barely audible hum of the heating stove. There's the distant sound of trains still moving on the tracks beyond the station. There's the occasional footstep as the station master or porter passes by the waiting room. But mostly there's just peace and quiet and the feeling of time moving at its own pace. A young couple sits on a bench across from you, but they're quiet and peaceful, not talking or demanding attention. They're just sitting together, existing peacefully in this shared space. Their presence is comforting rather than intrusive. You're all just waiting together, all just letting time pass in its own way. The oil lamps are creating a flickering golden light that dances very slightly on the wooden walls. This light is warm and soothing, nothing like the harsh light of electric bulbs or screens. This is light that was meant to help humans relax and prepare for sleep. Your eyelids are getting heavier just looking at this gentle, dancing light. Time has become strange here in the waiting room. You're not sure how long you've been sitting here. Minutes? Hours? It doesn't matter. There's nowhere you need to be. There's no rush. The next train will come when it comes. In the meantime, you just sit and wait and let yourself relax deeper and deeper. The sounds of the station have become like a lullaby. The distant trains, the ticking clock, the soft hum of the stove, the occasional footstep. These sounds combine into a pattern that rocks you gently towards sleep. Your body has stopped trying to hold itself up or maintain any kind of alert posture. You're just sitting there, completely heavy and relaxed, breathing slowly and deeply.
The bench beneath you feels incredibly comfortable. It's like the bench has been shaped by countless people finding exactly the right way to rest. And that accumulated knowledge of rest is built into the wood itself. Your body knows how to settle into this bench perfectly. Every part of you is supported exactly as it needs to be supported. Your breathing has become so slow and deep that you're barely aware of it anymore. It just happens automatically, following the rhythm of the waiting room, matching the pace of the ticking clock and the distant trains, in and out, slow and regular, like waves on a peaceful shore. The young couple across from you has disappeared into sleep. You can hear their breathing becoming deeper and more regular. The station master has gone to his office somewhere. Even the porter seems to have gone quiet. It's just you and the gentle sounds and the warm golden light and the slowly deepening evening. The oil lamps are burning lower now, their light becoming even softer and more muted. The shadows in the corners of the waiting room are getting deeper. The stove is burning lower too, its warmth becoming more subtle, less insistent. You're not sure exactly when it happened, but you've stopped being aware of the waiting room as a place with boundaries. The waiting room is inside you now, or you're inside it doesn't matter. You are the bench you're sitting on. You are the warm light. You are the gentle ticking of the clock. You are the patient waiting that characterizes this entire time and place. Your body feels incredibly heavy now. So heavy that you're not sure where your body ends and the bench begins. You're sinking down through layers of comfort and relaxation. Each breath you take carries you deeper. Each moment that passes brings you closer to the place where all this patient waiting becomes actual sleep. The sounds have faded into a peaceful background now. You can barely hear the clock ticking. The distant trains sound like they're very far away, almost like a memory of sound rather than actual sound. The warmth of the stove is just a distant sensation, barely noticeable, but deeply comforting. Your eyelids are so heavy now that even though you closed them a long time ago, it feels like they're getting heavier and heavier. Behind your closed eyes, you can still see the golden glow of the oil lamps, but it's becoming dimmer, more like a memory of light than actual light. You're in that perfect state now where thinking has almost completely stopped. There are no thoughts, just the awareness of sitting here in this peaceful waiting room, waiting for whatever comes next, but not in any urgent way, just patient, peaceful waiting. Waiting the way the 1800s understood waiting, as a natural part of life, not something to be rushed through or escaped from. And now you've arrived at that point where the difference between sitting and sleeping has become unclear. You're still on the bench in the waiting room. The oil lamps are still glowing, the clock is still ticking. But you're also drifting, floating, losing track of the physical space as you begin to enter the deeper world of sleep and dreams. Your last conscious thought might be about the next train, wondering when it will arrive, what direction it will be heading, but that thought fades away as you realize it doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere. You're just here, resting, sinking deeper into the kind of peaceful sleep that the people of the 1800s knew how to find. The waiting room's fading now. The bench beneath you is becoming less distinct. The sounds are becoming quieter, more distant, like you're drifting away from them and they're gently releasing their hold on you. Let them go. Let everything go. The waiting room has done its work. Your mind has slowed down enough. Your body has surrendered completely.
Sleep is here now. It's arrived like a train pulling into a station,
quiet, inevitable, perfectly timed. All you have to do is stop resisting and let yourself drift onto that train, heading into the peaceful darkness of deep, restorative sleep. Your breathing is slow and deep and automatic. Your body is completely relaxed and infinitely heavy. Your mind has quieted to almost complete silence. The waiting room, the station, the 1800s world, all of it is fading into the background now, becoming like a dream you're already forgetting as you drift away. The train of sleep has arrived. You're boarding it now, leaving behind all the worries and tensions and stimulation of the modern world. You're heading toward the deep rest that your body and mind have been needing. The journey is beginning, and you're perfectly safe and comfortable for the entire ride. Sleep now. Let yourself drift completely away. The station keeper will take care of everything. The trains will continue their rhythms regardless of whether you're awake or asleep. You can rest now. You can let go now. You can trust that everything will be fine while you sleep. Good night. Subscribe for more peaceful journeys through history's most restful places.
Hello, dear friends. We will sleep with Medieval Village Sleep Story. Drift off to another time. In about 10 minutes, you're going to feel like you've traveled back 600 years to the quietest, most peaceful village that ever existed. Your mind is going to slow down to medieval pace, your body will relax completely, and sleep will come as naturally as it did before electricity, before clocks, before anything existed to keep you awake. Tonight, I'm taking you somewhere different, not just a different place, but a different time. Back to a small medieval village where life moved at the speed of seasons instead of seconds, where darkness meant rest and where sleep came easily because there was nothing to keep your mind buzzing. You're going to experience what it felt like to live in a time when sleep was natural and effortless. As I describe this peaceful medieval evening, your body will remember what rest is supposed to feel like, and sleep will come the way it's been coming to humans for thousands of years. But first, let me tell you why going back to this simpler time is exactly what your overstimulated mind needs right now. Listen to the Sleepy Problem/Challenge Introduction. Your brain is running on modern time right now. It's used to screens and notifications and constant stimulation. It's adapted to artificial light that tricks it into thinking it's always daytime. It's been trained to process huge amounts of information every single hour of every single day. And then you expect it to just shut off instantly when you lie down in bed. Medieval people didn't have this problem. When the sun went down, darkness came. Real darkness, not the kind you get in modern cities with streetlights and glowing devices. When darkness came, the body naturally started producing sleep hormones. The mind naturally started slowing down. There was nothing to do in the dark except rest, so that's what people did. Their nervous systems weren't constantly activated by stress and stimulation. They didn't have the mental clutter that comes from consuming endless information. They had worries, sure, but those worries were simple and concrete, whether the crops would grow, whether the weather would hold, basic survival concerns that the mind could actually process and set aside. What you need right now is to let your mind experience that simpler rhythm, even if just for the next 15 minutes. You need to feel what it's like when time slows down, when the world gets quiet, when sleep is just the natural thing that happens when darkness comes. So tonight, you're not in your modern bedroom with all its associations with sleeplessness and frustration. Tonight, you're in a small cottage in a medieval village, and it's evening time, and sleep is coming as naturally and inevitably as the sunset itself. But before we go to that cottage, We need to let your body remember how to be still